From the Middle East to North America to Africa, we're moving fast at the start of this Tuesday's show. U.S. airstrikes in the town of Kobani. It's in northern Syria near the border with Turkey, and it's become a problem for the ISIS terrorist group. Unlike some other towns in the region that fell to ISIS, the Kurds, an ethnic group, have fought to regain control of much of Kobani, about 70% of the city. U.S.-led airstrikes have helped, along with an American airdrop of weapons, ammo, and medical equipment. That happened Sunday night. The Obama administration says it looks like the supplies fell into the right hands. Kobani isn't the only city under attack from ISIS terrorists. Yesterday, they launched 15 attacks on Kurdish forces in northern Iraq. The U.S. military says the fight against ISIS won't be quick. Spinning the globe to Dallas, Texas. Some hopeful news to tell you about the Ebola virus. Yesterday, a Dallas County judge cleared more than 40 people who'd had contact with Ebola victim Thomas Eric Duncan. The judge said none of these people showed symptoms of Ebola for 21 days, what doctors consider the maximum incubation period for the virus. So their quarantine is over. 2 nurses who apparently caught Ebola from Duncan are still hospitalized. And though Nigeria and Senegal say they're officially Ebola-free, the disease is still spreading rapidly in the West African nations of Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone. Just mentioned Nigeria, it was in the news for a very different reason back in April. That was when the Boko Haram terrorist group kidnapped hundreds of girls from a boarding school in northeast Nigeria. The country's government says it's reached a deal with Boko Haram to set the girls free. But that hasn't happened yet, and the terrorist group continues its attacks on civilians.
Bring back our girls, the world has cried.
So girls in Nigeria are my sisters, and it's my responsibility that I speak up for my sisters.
Grown men attempting to snuff out the aspirations of young girls.
It's infuriating, and it kind of goes beyond understanding that somebody could do this.
It's been 6 months since almost 300 girls were taken from their school in the dead of night at the hands of Boko Haram, the Islamist terror group. The overwhelming majority of them remain unaccounted for. More than 5 million people have tweeted, "Bring back our girls." The social media campaign went viral in May, a month after the girls vanished, and it hasn't stopped. And now, the news Friday.
There has been a huge breakthrough in the kidnapping ordeal that launched that global campaign, Bring Back Our Girls.
The deal is expected to include the release of the more than 200 kidnapped schoolgirls.
The government announced a ceasefire, what they say is a step toward bringing the girls home.
The terrorists have assured that the girls are alive and well, and that discussions will continue in this direction subsequently. All efforts are towards the release of the girls.
Skepticism is felt by many.
We want to be able to see early evidence of this deal. It would help a lot. I'm sure that majority Nigerians are thinking exactly the same thing.
While Boko Haram hasn't yet responded to Nigeria's claim, the news has brought cautious optimism. But online campaigners say they won't stop until the girls are back. More than 180 days since their abduction. Hope and more waiting.
Just the facts. Sergeant Bo Bergdahl serves in the US Army. He was deployed to Afghanistan in May of 2009 and he was captured there a month later. In 2012, the US government said it was in talks with the Taliban, Afghanistan's former rulers, to get Bergdahl released. That happened in May of this year when the US freed 5 Taliban prisoners in exchange for Bergdahl.
The U.S. Army has completed its investigation of Sergeant Bergdahl's disappearance, but it hasn't released results yet. The exchange for Bergdahl was a major controversy. An investigative agency of Congress said the Obama administration broke the law because it didn't notify Congress 30 days before the exchange. The administration said it had a limited opportunity and took advantage of it. Also, some soldiers who served with Bergdahl said he deserted his post, and that's why he was captured. Bergdahl now has a desk job at a fort in Texas. CNN recently found a pile of letters sent to him before the exchange happened.
What you're looking at here is a little-known secret that has been hidden inside the Haley, Idaho Police Department for several months. All of these boxes are filled with letters that were sent to Bo Bergdahl last Christmas. All letters of support and well wishes and prayers for his release. Of course, all of these letters were sent just a few months before he was actually released. They were sent to the White House and they were put in boxes. And eventually they made their way back here to the state of Idaho, and the Bergdahl family asked some friends to take care of them. And the big question is, what should be done with all of these letters? It's not exactly clear if Bo Bergdahl even knows that these are here, and his friends here in Haley are wondering if he'll ever want to read them. It is a fascinating snapshot into the efforts that many friends made to secure his release, very different from the controversy surrounding Bo Bergdahl after his release. So many platoon mates of his who have come out and called him a deserter and a traitor. Obviously, Bo Bergdahl has become a very controversial figure, but in these boxes, in these snapshots, very positive in nature, hoping and praying for Bo Bergdahl's safe release. This one in particular says, "We are praying for you to come home soon so you can be with your family." But as far as we know, that hasn't taken place, which is just another layer to this story that has been very confounding for many people in many different ways.
From Monday's transcript at CNNStudentNews.com, here are a few of the thousands of requests we got for our roll call. In Arapahoe, Wyoming, meet the Falcons of Arapahoe Middle School. In New Ulm, Minnesota, greet the Eagles of New Ulm High School. And in Hopsfjord, Norway, check out the Vikings of the International School of Stavanger. Thank you all for taking 10 minutes for CNN Student News. When you picture a robot, you might picture R2-D2 or a computer that can interact with us, or something that can accomplish certain tasks, like helping build part of a car or vacuuming a room. But where a robot vacuum can set you back about $300 or $400, the PackBot kind used in war zones can run about $150,000 each.
In 1990, Helen Greiner and two other roboticists from MIT's Artificial Intelligence Lab had a realization. In order for robots to have a real-life, everyday impact on regular people, they needed to be mobile. And so, iRobot was born. The Boston Robotics Company was made famous by their Roomba vacuum, but Greiner and the rest of the team went on to save lives with their series of PackBots. The PackBot is a compact, track-driven device that is used by the U.S. military to find and detonate IEDs. Search and rescue teams deploy the PackBot to locate missing individuals after natural disasters. And security teams have used it to inspect vehicles at large public events. Users control the PackBot using a video game-style controller on a remote laptop, where the bot's activities are shown in 3D. The current model of the PackBot 510, carries LED lights, 4 cameras capable of HD photography, a 312 times zoom, and thermophotography. The PackBot's manipulator arm can reach around corners and can raise up to 80 inches, and its grabber can hold up to 30 pounds. Dual rotating flippers that can turn 360 degrees give the PackBot the ability to navigate over obstacles or reorient itself if it lands face down. Several other robotic devices have been designed to aid in military endeavors, including the Talon, the Recon Scout, which has been employed by the U.S. Army, and the Teodor, which has been used by the Spanish Armed Forces. These robots look like something out of science fiction, but they're real, and they're saving lives every day.
Before we go, human foosball, y'all. No one's actually attached to the rods. They'd get pretty sick after a spin or two. Folks just grab onto a span of PVC pipe, move left and right, and kick. It almost looks like fun. The goal of this event in Green Bay, Wisconsin wasn't just to score goals, it was to raise money for a charity that aims to get girls in grade school interested in science, math, and engineering. So if someone got roped into the game, or if it was more than they could handle, or if they said playing was off the table, the cause might have made them pause and take the idea for a spin, regardless of whether they heard cheers or foos. I'm Carl Azus. We'll see you Wednesday.